Hello and welcome to Sport Classics, the Wembley Gold Selection. In this series of programmes, we'll bring you highlights from some of the best matches and most memorable individual performances seen at the world-famous stadium in the past 4 decades. This show is devoted to the Coca-Cola Cup final between Arsenal and Sheffield Wednesday in April 1993. It will be the first of 3 Wembley finals played between the two teams that year. They also went on to meet in the FA Cup final, which went to a replay. The match was also memorable for what happened to Arsenal's Steve Morrow after the final whistle, so watch out for that. Commentary comes from Brian Moore.
Shouldn't be a shortage of goals here today, but when have we said that before? And away we go. O'Leary. Instantly we can see that O'Leary in fact is playing as a genuine and orthodox right back. So the thought that possibly George Graham might play David O'Leary as taking this throw, either as a sweeper or as another central defender. That speculation that has in the end come to nothing. Here's Wright. And a corner instantly for Arsenal. Watch out for Tony Adams. Spurs will remember that from that semi-final. Steve Morrow will take it. Adams up in the centre of that 6-yard area, right at the far post, floated in there. And in fact, Woods didn't get anywhere near that ball, and it took 2 defensive headers to get it away. And finally, the first touch for Waddle. And not a very telling ball either. Merson down that left-hand side. Nielsen with him. Gets it cleverly up here to Waddle. Waddle hitting a long ball, trying to hit Warhurst with it. Some backpedaling, and Adams very calmly and confidently in control there for Arsenal. Finding young Ray Parlour here on the right. Parks has come back with him. Carlton Palmer gets it away. Midfielder now settled in so sweetly and confidently in the back 4 for Sheffield Wednesday. Arduous season for both clubs, reaching its climax now with these 2 finals. Sheffield Wednesday's 55th game this season, Arsenal's 51st. I think Newcastle played even more than that, haven't they?
Seems like we played 100 this year, Brian, but when you're successful, you seem to play more games, and I'm sure every professional will tell you the more games you play, the more chance you've got to play for your country and things like that. But we just talked about O'Leary before. It's amazing for me. I played against him many times when I played. I've simply been finished 100 years. And you always think you're going to get something against him, but you never quite do.
Here's Winterburn. Merson. Just confirming that point, he's playing as an orthodox right back, isn't he, O'Leary? He
is, and I think he's such an experienced player that he can adapt. He's got a wealth of experience to fall back on. And where Arsenal might gain from the fact that they've got him there, as well as Linnigan and Adams, is from set pieces, as you rightly said. They've got terrific height advantage.
There's Adams. There's a free kick to Sheffield Wednesday. I think Arsenal were just a little anxious that Trevor Francis might be tempted to put Waddle over on this side against David O'Leary to test his legs. Waddle's on the right. Trevor Francis on the bench. Celebrates his 39th birthday tomorrow. Will it be with success today? Woods with the kick. Hit long towards Bright. Warhurst chasing it, but Adams again taking control. A real giant this season in the defence for Arsenal. Waddle with the throw. Nielsen's going to take it instead. Flick on by Bright towards Warhurst. Hit the post. Warhurst holds his head. That was a real instinctive shot, and it almost caught Arsenal and Seaman out. Smacked against the post. Knock on there by Bright. A volley by Warhurst, and Arsenal lucky to survive. Kevin?
Well, there's no thrills to this man. He just does the very basic things very well. A lot of players might have tried to pull that down. He just took his chance, and you can see why he wants to play centre forward now.
Palmer backpedaling. A clash though with Ian Wright. Linnigan. Free kick this time to Arsenal. Taken quickly by Paul Davis. Finds Merson. Knocked it forward again for Wright. Got Campbell waiting in the middle. And down goes Woods. A good couple of early bites in this game, suggesting that there's going to be plenty on offer for the fans and the viewers alike this afternoon.
That's what they'll be looking to do, Brian, to get in the channels round, get right around Viv Anderson. I'm sure of that. Viv, with all his experience, the one thing he isn't blessed with is tremendous pace, and that's one thing that, of course, Ian Wright has got plenty of.
Waddle's ball into Bright. Warhurst again. Just behind the main striker, Bright there, but pulled that one well wide.
Been playing about 7 or 8 minutes now. He's already had one hit the post and another chance there that he might have felt he could do a little bit better with.
O'Leary. And it was Linnigan who got it away. Palmer being put under a degree of pressure there from the pace of Kevin Campbell.
I think the one thing that won't bother Palmer is pace. He's got plenty of that as well, and he's really their little insurance policy if Viv Anderson or anyone gets caught.
Free kick to Wednesday. A foul on Harks. Sheridan behind this. Waddle naturally will be behind this, with members of that rifling free kick shot of his against Sheffield United just a fortnight ago, and Arsenal will be well aware of that. They'll hope that all is formed fairly well. In fact, it's Sheridan playing it now for King. Knocked through the middle now. Harks with the shot, and a goal for Wednesday.
Beautifully worked free kick, this one, Brian. It's something that Trevor Francis and the lads obviously have worked on the training ground. It's a super. I mean, Arsenal were well asleep. Lad Palmer on the end of the wall. But this is a tremendous finish from the American.
So 10 minutes of the game gone. Sheffield Wednesday go into the lead. John Harks, but when he played here in '91 against Manchester United for Sheffield Wednesday, was the first American to play in a senior game here at Wembley. Now he's put the cap on that with a superb goal. And here comes Wright, brought down right on the edge of the box, no foul. His 5th goal of the season, John Harks. Here he is again, the lad born in New Jersey. Come a long way to embarrass Arsenal in the early stages now this Coca-Cola final. Davis. Merson. Plenty of red shirts are up. Merson, who can be so dangerous in that little hole, as they call it, just behind the front two, but also is dangerous when he sweeps in from the wings. But the perfect start for Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, it's a superb free kick, this. And what the beauty of having two men who can shoot is you can get away with all sorts when they don't. And this is a prime example. I think it's O'Leary or Linnigan who quite got the touch. But his first touch really Seaman's had is picking the ball out of the net. But it's a lovely open game of football, Brian, and both these teams fancy the chances.
Seaman away. Well, there's a long way to go yet, and Arsenal are very experienced and they're used to playing at Wembley. And here's Merson for them now. Little touch in. Well, a clear header for Wright, and he'll be, as they say, very disappointed indeed with that. That was a golden opportunity. Some great work by Merson, and some poor defending by Wednesday, I have to say.
Beautifully flighted ball in here, and it seemed to catch him just off balance, you know, his timing.
But look at the freedom he had there as well, Kevin, the amount of space he had in that area. Linnigan playing it forward for Davis. Good decision, referee. Davis had gone through the challenge of Sheridan. Parler. Oh, he played well there. Went round Wilson, and a foul there by Sheridan, and a free kick to Arsenal. Young Ray Parlour, a lad from Romford.
He does ever so well here, and it's the sort of thing, you know, he's showing us he can do, because he's not just a workhorse, this lad. I remember we actually covered the game when he made his debut at Anfield against Liverpool on a night, and he played very, very maturely that night, and he's been more or less a permanent fixture in the side since. And I think his greatest asset is his engine room. He can cover the ground up and down the field all day long, as you would expect of a lad his age, but he's also shown us he is prepared to run at people as well.
I think one of the things that George Graham might admit is that there's tremendous potential in this Arsenal midfield with the likes of Parlour and Selly, who's one of the subs today, and Morrow as well. But he just feels, I think, that, you know, in 2 years' time they're going to be really just what he wants, and they're just that little bit short of what he wants at the moment. And I think he feels that maybe Arsenal have stuttered a little bit this season, largely on the strength of a lack of experience in midfield and a lack of firepower up front. Davis chipping that one through. Merson with a shot. It's in.
So
it's 1-1.
We couldn't have wished for a better start to a game of football. Both sides being rewarded already in the first 20 minutes for a lot of endeavour.
I think there may have been a deflection on the way here as well.
Certainly he didn't catch it right, if there wasn't.
Here he goes. Yeah, deflected off another Arsenal player, actually. Right in the back of the net. 1-1 the score. And I would say Paul Merson's goal, as Waddle now is at the other end.
I'm not sure it hit anybody, Brian.
No, I don't think it did.
Again. I think he bent it, and he maybe didn't make the sort of connection he wanted to. But as you saw from the case in football, if you make a good connection, you don't score. But it was still a terrific goal, and Merson has looked very, very lively right from the first second of this game.
Well, it was his first goal of the season in the Coca-Cola Cup, and it comes in a week when his wife presented him with his second baby boy, Ben, a little brother for Charlie. So there's certainly plenty for Paul Merson to celebrate at the moment. But now there's concern for Arsenal. Waddle's behind this one. Sheridan's there as well. I think the odds look on Waddle hitting this one. Dipping, but not enough. Let's look at the Arsenal goal again, Kevin.
Well, they defend it well against Linnigan. It comes out and he just takes his chance. And I think that's just a beautiful strike, looking at it again.
Waddle again. But O'Leary's challenge was enough. But in comes Wilson again. Sheridan, a little touch now for Viv Anderson. Waddle. Long-range shot, maybe. Too high.
Just to mention Danny Wilson there, Brian, and he'll just quietly do his job in there and let Sheridan and Waddle and Hart bomb on, and he'll just sit as the outlet all the time. He again has been playing a long, long time. If you look at Sheffield Wednesday, they're sort of the side that epitomise what football's about now. Lads at 32, 33 are no longer considered too old. Because of dieting and because of training, they seem to last a lot longer these days. In my time, once you got past 30, the pension book's out, you know, now it's a bit different.
There's no better example of that, actually, than the Sheffield Wednesday manager, who looked after himself so well in terms of what he ate and what he drank and how he lived and so on, and he went on playing and playing. Yes, there was a foul on Warhurst by Linnigan.
It was a silly foul from Linnigan, this, because there was no way that Warhurst was going to get any advantage. And
the punishment could be a heavy one, because Waddle has the ball under his arm now, bringing that, what is it, 6 or 7 yards outside the Arsenal penalty area.
It's in a very dangerous area. You've got Sheridan again and Waddle on, and bearing in mind what they've already subjected them to from the other free kick, there'll be a little bit of panic in the ranks of the Arsenal defence at the moment.
Indirect free kick. Sheridan will just touch it, I presume, to Waddle. No, he's knocked it to King. It deflected. The flag has stayed down, and a corner's been given. And they've taken it quickly as well. They've stolen the march on Arsenal here. And it was just knocked wide there by Mark Bright.
I don't know what David O'Leary was thinking of there. He showed lack of experience because he was arguing at the linesman about the lack of an offside flag. And in the end, I mean, absolutely just forgot that they'd got a corner. And I think Bright would be disappointed not to hit the target from a couple of yards.
It's a deep kick from Seaman. Campbell's after it. Oh, against the post and back into the grateful arms of Chris Woods. Oh, there's thrills at both ends now. And Wednesday almost caught out with some very poor defending again, and the strength of Campbell. The ball goes wide of Woods, and thank you very much.
Chris Woods will tell you he got his angles perfect there because he couldn't quite get the ball, and he was right in place for the rebound. But first time we've seen Campbell, really.
Waddle picking out Palmer. This is Parks again. Losing out. Wilson getting in with a strong challenge on Campbell. King playing it in to Bright. Warhurst now for Wednesday. Knocked back for Waddle. Trying to pick up Mark Bright.
I don't know if he's offside there or not. It was a terrific run. And if you start to make runs like that round the box with a fella called Chris Waddle on the ball, you've always got a chance of being found with the perfect pass.
Nielsen gets it away into touch now. Let's just have a look at that one again. Was he offside? There's Waddle's ball. No, good lining decision. He was no more than level. And a well-timed run by Bright.
His touch let him down a little bit there, Brian, didn't it? If he'd have got a good touch on it, I'm almost sure that would have been 2-1 to Sheffield Wednesday.
Right. Wilson. Warhurst. Caught by O'Leary as he made a delicate little turn there and a touch aimed towards John Harkes. Free kick for Wednesday. John Sheridan behind this free kick. And then plays it wide again for King. A variation on the one that produced the goal, played from further out. But then Parler shoving Harkes in the back, and the referee had exactly the right angle to see that that was a foul.
It's a good decision, that, Brian. You don't get many of those. Referees don't like to give them. But that was a foul, even though the ball wasn't within 4 or 5 yards of them. And it's another very dangerous situation.
Waddle's here again. Sheridan's here again. Sheridan came off big Viv Anderson. Here's Campbell.
Certainly start to swing Arsenal's way a little bit in terms of possession in the opponent's half, and Campbell and Wright have started to get down the channels, and once they do, they look very lively, don't they, as a pair.
Morrow again with a corner, a deeper one this time. Nielsen got his head for it to it for Sheffield Wednesday. Wright to Winterburn, to Wright to Winterburn. Finding Merson, little flick with the outside of the boot, right on the end of this one, and Woods just got there before him.
Oh, the crowd behind the goal, this Wednesday supporters, annoyed at Ian Wright there, but I think he had every right to go for that one, Brian. It was there for him to take. He was very brave, and he kept his eye on the ball.
What do you feel maybe is starting to swing at Arsenal's way, Kevin?
I just feel they've settled down a little bit now. Certainly Morrow in midfield has found his midfield legs, because don't forget, he is a defender. And Wright and Campbell have started to get down the channels.
Came off Linnigan for a corner. Arsenal strangely wrong-footed there. Both Linnigan and Adams close at hand, and it was somehow a clumsy conceding of a corner, which Harks will now take for Sheffield Wednesday. Waddle at the near post. Wright also in the near post. Linnigan with a good firm header away. Up to Ian Wright. Touch for Campbell. But then Anderson turning it back, and the flag was up for an offside against Warhurst. And while he argues, Adams gets it away to Merson. Chased by Nielsen. And beaten in the end by Nielsen. Supported by Anderson, and here's Waddle. And Bright well offside.
You said you were surprised that the two big men get each other's way, but I think, to be honest with you, they're both very similar players, Linnigan and Adams, and I think that's why they bought Cohn, isn't it? You know, Mark and Cohn, because they both like to attack the ball and win the long balls, and of course it's very difficult with the two of them being so similar, but they do well considering that.
Martin Keown, of course, ineligible for this final. There's Waddle. Adams with the header, finding O'Leary. Round of applause from the Arsenal fans for that. Got there, spotted O'Leary, found him unerringly with a header. Here's Linnigan getting in again. Hefty clearance for Palmer to deal with. Winterburn. But Wilson. Another Wednesday throw. Summing up the first half, Kevin.
Well, I think it's been a terrific advert for British football. Certainly Wednesday started off livelier, but as the game's gone on, the arse's gone on, Arsenal got more and more into it.
Linnigan's header for Arsenal, won by Parler.
And I suppose the one thing you've really noticed is that Chris Waddle hasn't set the game on fire yet, like we know he can. And that man Harks with that goal has really set it their way. But I think at half-time, 1-1 is the right score. Both teams have shown us what they can do, and I'm really looking forward to the second half, because players are going to tire on this big Wembley pitch.
Wednesday then, in the striped shirts, attack the goal to our right. 1-1 in this 1993 Coca-Cola Cup final. So Anderson gets the ball back to goalkeeper Chris Woods. Played as an 18-year-old in this final back in 1978 for Nottingham Forest against Liverpool. It was 0-0 that day, and Forest won it on the replay. What's happened there? He's given a free kick for the foul on Warhurst. So right at the start of this second half, a problem developing here for Arsenal.
If they keep giving free kicks away in these sort of positions, Brian, they're going to pay a penalty eventually. It's the people, as we said, like Sheridan, Waddle, and don't discount little Danny Wilson who's talking there. He's got a fair old thump in his right foot as well, so they've got to be careful. They may just do it once too often.
Which of the three will have a little go at this one? It's going to be Sheridan. Saved by David Seaman.
I don't think you're going to beat a keeper of Seaman's class without a little bit more deception over the ball.
Nielsen with the header. Here's Waddle. Several free kicks, Kevin, that Sheffield Wednesday have had in that position. As yet, not a blockbuster from Chris Waddle that was that so unsettled Sheffield United.
Yeah, I think Arsenal are putting up a bit more of a wall. I mean, Sheffield United made the mistake of not even putting a wall up, which I found unbelievable. But I suppose it's because everyone thinks Chris Waddle's going to thump it. They think they might profit from that by someone else doing something like Sheridan tried there. But I think they've got to have some other person just on the ball.
Merson. Morrow's chasing this. Wright's in the middle. Parler's in the middle as well, coming up on the far side. Oh, his pass falls easily for Harks. Played inside now for Wilson. Wilson stopped by Davis. Davis to Merson. Linnigan. Merson finding Winterburn. Here's Waddle. He hasn't imposed himself on this game yet as Waddle. Sheridan. And Merson takes it away before Waddle can get there this time. Adams. Davis. Campbell chasing. And Woods and Nielsen needing each other really to get that one away. Bit of shirt tugging there, or short tugging actually, by Adams on Bright.
I think Adams has won a lot of people over in this country. I think when he first came on the scene as a brilliant 18-year-old, a lot of people had a look at him and thought, no, he's not going to last the pace, but he's proved an awful lot of people wrong. Delighted for him.
And away goes Parler. He got the better of King there. And now Wright. And look at Waddle getting back there, doing the challenging. And Waddle claiming that Wright, they're having a little nudge and a little bit of a butting going on there. I think what it was that Waddle thought that Wright had dived there looking for a penalty. And there was a bigger finger pointing going on. The ball played through here. Amazing that it should be Waddle right back there doing the challenging, but there he is, and he felt that Wright made more of that than he should have done. And the referee, Alan Dunn, calling both players to him, as you can see there.
Brian, I didn't see anything really wrong with the challenge. It was a fair shoulder charge. I don't think Wright overreacted. And if they were both in the England squad, as they should be, they'd probably be better mates.
But Waddle isn't.
That's right. Well, they probably don't know each other that well. But it certainly was nothing wrong with it. I don't think Wright made a meal of it. But he's a victim of his own sort of temperament at times, right? Even when he doesn't do things wrong.
Mark Wright. And Warhurst finish it off. Oh, there was some good defending there by Winterburn. An amazing debate there's been about Waddle for England, Kevin. From what you've just said, you obviously feel that you're amongst those who feel that he should be in the England side, or certainly in the squad.
Well, if you can tell me anybody better in the country at the moment in the position he plays, then I'd like to sign him.
Davis. O'Leary. Parler. Nice dummy. And that was a foul by King.
I hope it doesn't spill over this match. There seems an awful lot of animosity between certain players, and yet it's not been what I would call a hard physical game. It's been a good game of football. That's a bit of a late tackle there by the young lad, King, but I hope he doesn't start to get spoiled, because we've seen all the good things in our game out there already, and I'd like that to continue.
Arsenal's free kick. Davis and Morrow standing over it. It'll be Paul Davis who takes it. Campbell's in there, Wright's in there, so too was Palmer. Merson trying another volley. Sheridan trying to get the better of Morrow, but Adams pumping it forward again towards Ray Parler on the far side. Goal kick. Woods with the goal kick. Adams. Viv Anderson in a bit of trouble now.
Yeah, Ian Wright just did the challenge there. Don't think there's anything wrong in it, but certainly there's some blood around, I think.
So Sheffield Wednesday's physio, Alan Smith, is on and looks to be bleeding quite badly. And the referee having a word actually with Ian Wright at the moment. But you felt that it was just one of those things.
I just saw the tail end of it. I mean, I think the referee spotted something, and as you say, Brian, he'd had a word with Wright. And these are sort of little incidents that surround Wright all the time. And there's something that, you know, I talk to my players at the club about. When you start getting involved in that, it takes something away from your game a little bit.
There's an elbow or a hand or something that's smacked into Big Viv. Let's have a look again, see whether it's an elbow. This angle might tell us better. Yes, he probably just got the bit of an elbow, didn't he?
But I don't think, again, looking at it like from that angle and in slow motion, that there's really any intent there. You've got to give players the benefit of the doubt when it's like that.
But there do seem to be a lot of elbows in the game these days.
Well, when you're Ian Wright's size up front and you're playing against these big guys, I mean, you do get your fair share of stick the other way. And I suppose sometimes you feel you have to take the law a little bit into your own hands. It's not right, it's not the right way, but unfortunately it happens. But I'm sure Viv Anderson's had a million of those in his 20-odd years in the game.
Graham Hyde warming up.
The game hasn't really picked up, Brian, has it, in the second half, like we had in the first. The goal certainly coming as early as it did set the pace much more frantic, and it's now as if the sides are more or less, it's more like a game of chess now, and sort of more like the game we thought it would be.
But a noisy game of chess.
Well, the Sheffield Wednesday fans, which are to our right, are making a tremendous amount of noise, and of course I suppose they've had less trips to places like this over the last 20 years than Arsenal. They're certainly out for a day out from Yorkshire. They've come a long way and they're going to enjoy it.
7 minutes gone, 1-1 the score. There's a certain amount of injury time, quite a bit of it I would have thought. Oh, a mistake there by Danny Wilson. It's Campbell through. He's saved by Nielsen, but Nielsen's ball in the end goes to Merson. It's gone past Anderson. What sort of cross can he put in? There's a goal for Arsenal by Morrow. Bad mistake by Sheffield Wednesday, punished to the full by Arsenal.
Well, that's where Carlton Palmer shows he looks like a midfield player here, because all he's got to do is get this ball away. What he's trying to pull it down for there, I just don't know. And they've paid the absolute maximum penalty. And he'll watch this in horror, will Carlton Palmer. Great run from Merson. Terrific cross, but it should have been cleared there. And there's Morrow in to finish it off. Very easy chance in the end.
But he took it well. Ball from Belfast. And now Wednesday, having been in front, need to repair that damage. Davis. Right. Woods gets it away.
Very late challenge there, Brian, from Mark Bright. A little bit of frustration, that, I think. And I think it's Linnigan. It was a late challenge. But from a neutral point of view, Brian, the game needed that goal. if you're obviously a Sheffield Wednesday fan, you'll be very disappointed.
So a yellow card for Mark Bright.
This is just frustration, this, Brian. Look.
Yeah. And Linnigan's still in trouble. No, it's Tony Adams, I beg your pardon.
That's one of the big problems for commentators now, Brian. You can't get away with it anymore. If you make a mistake, it's there on the back of the shirt. I thought it was Linnigan. They do look alike, to be fair. They're both similar size, similar build.
Let's have a look at the goal again. There's Carlton Palmer's mistake.
Yeah, Morrow reacted very, very quickly, especially bearing in mind that he is a defender. But it's a great cross from Merson, but there's nobody in there on it at all. And as I said before, that is really a midfield player playing at the back.
And look at that statistic there. His first goal for Arsenal, and choosing a Wembley appearance to make it. John Harkes. Harkes again, taking it from Nielsen. Right. Harkes tumbled over himself. I'm just wondering how long Trevor Francis will resist the temptation to try David Hurst, another of his strikers, looking for a goal.
I wouldn't be surprised at all if he has to change something.
Now Wright. A wonderful goal. No. There was a foul. And it won't count.
It's a fascinating game now, Brian, because Sheffield Wednesday have got to go at Arsenal, and that is when Arsenal are the most dangerous, with people like Wright. All right, it was offside there. Oh, it's a trip, actually, on Viv Anderson.
Woods with a free kick. Linnigan with a header. Wilson. Palmer. Nielsen. Kept in play by Merson, and indeed there is some movement on the bench. It looks as though David Hurst might be coming on very shortly for Wednesday, and it might well be Danny Wilson who goes off. Foul on Warhurst. Free kick to Wednesday. Getting his instructions there, Hurst from Trevor Francis. Richie Barker just behind him.
It's a real gamble, Brian, if he takes off a midfield player and puts on a centre forward, because I can't see Bright dropping back in there. I'm not sure it's Warhurst who could do that sort of job. And Wilson does a tremendous amount of fetching and carrying for them. So it's a gamble, but in cup finals, that's what you've got to do.
Well, I think for certain Hurst will go right up alongside Bright. Now, is he the man to save it for Wednesday? Merson.
Yeah, all the players now, Brian, starting to look a little bit more tired. This pitch does take it out of you, I can assure you of that. And I think we're in for a storm in the last 10 minutes or so.
Here's Waddle. And now King. Waddle's ball again flighted beautifully. Another free kick conceded by Parlour. They will regret one of these, Arsenal.
That was more like assault and battery, that one, and there was no real need, because I don't think he was going anywhere. But I think this is something like the 8th or 9th free kick in these sort of areas, which you call the danger areas. And I'm sure at some stage they're going to get a chance from one.
So King gets treatment. Arsenal will pull everybody back now. They've lost more matches in this one season. I think it's 14 in the Premier League, Arsenal, than they lost in the previous 2. 8 last season, only 1 the season before that. And if you felt they were a little bit vulnerable, you also have to say any George Graham team is beautifully prepared and motivated. And that's certainly been the case for Arsenal here today, even though he's not been able to pick his strongest side. But here's a little pressure point for them.
Superbly flighted free kick, that one, Brian, from Sheridan.
And a great chance for Palmer to redeem himself. It was his mistake that led tomorrow's goal. Here he is, you can see him making his move.
Yeah, Campbell did very well for a forward, because forwards don't like to get caught in that position. He just held him off, legally of course, but he just couldn't get inside him.
Here's Palmer. They're now playing time added on, and I've no doubt that Alan Gunn will add a bit of time on. There was a long stoppage for Viv Anderson, his head injury, and also a couple of stoppages for Paul Davis's cramp. Is this the moment for the likes of Waddle and Sheridan to produce something? Will George Graham be denied in the last moments of this game? Sheridan playing it in now. A shot on the turn by Hurst. And it's gone behind for the goal kick.
And that's typical of Hurst there. There wasn't really half a chance on for most strikers. He actually got a shot in. And he's not that far wide. A yard.
Referee unhappy again with Mark Bright about something. And the last thing Sheffield Wednesday want is to have their minds deflected at the moment with arguing with the referee. And by the look of it, Alan Gunn is not terribly happy with what Mark Bright has been saying to him. The one thing that Wednesday have got to do now, surely, is get on with the game. A shake of the hands between Bright and O'Leary, and the game goes on.
He seems like the sort of referee, let the game play on, but he won't let players abuse him, and I think he's quite right.
Have a look at his watch. Morrow with a header. And Harks, the afternoon started in glory for him with that opening goal for Sheffield Wednesday. Deep into time added on now. Up goes Waddle. Hyde knocking it back. Harks will hit it forward again. Down that left-hand channel. And O'Leary, a lovely touch right at the end. Bangs it high into the Arsenal supporters up there. No, they're the Wednesday supporters.
Just thinking to himself, Brian, you know, this right back, it's not as difficult as I thought it would be, you know. He's not really been troubled at all.
Waddle with the throw. Mark Bright. That time it was Paul Davis who got in and got the clearance away. Can Wright get on the end of this? No. Anderson's there. Waddle coming in on the far side. Got an offside against Chris Waddle.
I think Chris Waddle's had a frustrating afternoon here at Wembley. So much was expected of him. Of course, it's impossible to live up to the headlines all the time and people's wishes and expectations. But we all thought he would play a bigger part in this game than he has, and I think that's great credit to George Graham and his tactical way of shutting him out with Merson mainly.
Another look at the watch. Carlton Palmer bringing it forward. Oh, Waddle won't get to that. O'Leary will, and plays it like an old pro that he is, away to an area where it's going to take up a few more seconds. Chris Woods will hammer it down towards that Arsenal half. Another look at the referee's watch. This time it's Nielsen. And now Sheridan knocking it wide for Harks. Played in again for Waddle. Oh, and he wanted Harks to go, but there was an offside against Hyde, I think it was. And a free kick for Arsenal.
That sums up Chris Waddle's afternoon. Nothing's quite come off for him. He's not had a bad game, he's just not got in it enough. And again there, I think he had every right to expect the young lad to go in and make that run, but it just didn't quite work, and they've been more miss than hit in this second half.
Arsenal, the winners of the 1993 Coca-Cola Cup, beating Sheffield Wednesday by 2 goals to 1, have assured themselves of a place in Europe next season. Paul Merson, scorer of the first Arsenal goal and named man of the match for the Alan Hardacre Trophy winner on a week when he became a father for the 2nd time. What a week of celebration for him. And the customary Merson salute. And let's have a word with the victorious Arsenal manager, George Graham.
George, congratulations, another trophy for you. What did you think of that second half display?
Yeah, I thought it was a close game. I think we showed a lot of character again. You know, we're proving that we're a better team than actually what a lot of people give us credit for. But it was very, very close.
Paul Merson got the Press Man of the Match award.
Yeah, I thought it was very exciting. I thought he took a lot of pressure off us in the first half when he held onto the ball a lot and he was taking the fullback on. I think he showed a world-class fullback. You know, I thought he did very well.
And you've got another cup final to come.
Yeah, I expect another very hard game.
Well done today.
Okay, thank you.
George Graham then. And the face of defeat from Viv Anderson. But as Kevin was saying, nobody played better in Sheffield Wednesday's cause, and at 36 he's saying, well, I've got a chance next month in the FA Cup final, but there won't be many more after that. And the most unexpected match winner of them all, Steve Morrow. His first goal for Arsenal, a 22-year-old Belfast lad who turned up trumps when most Arsenal wanted it, with George Armstrong, one of the great old-time Arsenal favourites, Steve Burtonshaw with him as well there, who would have brought him up through the youngsters, who brought all those Arsenal youngsters on. Steve Morrow amongst them. And, well, a most unexpected hero of the day.
He's done a terrific job in the midfield. His main job wasn't to score the winning goal. It was to close down and win the ball, to allow the other players in the side like Wright and Campbell up front to go out and win it. But he's done what we see so often in finals. We're looking for the Waddles and we're looking at the Wrights, and suddenly tomorrow it'll be all about Morrow tomorrow.
He did a super job on John Sheridan. He stifled him, the man who could really have caused most problems through that Sheffield Wednesday midfield. Ray Parlour on the left got through an enormous amount of work down that right-hand side, but the man of the match, Paul Merson, with that lovely volleyed goal, which we thought was deflected. In fact, it was swinging away beautifully. He must have hit it with the outside of the boot, always away from Chris Woods. Now, I wonder if that's Steve Morrow down there, because I tell you what, they were lifting him onto their shoulders, and I've got a feeling the players dropped him and got a bang on the head. I think we saw maybe just the start of him beginning to fall.
That'll teach him to score the winning goal.
Well,
that's obviously it. Sometimes just on the spur of the moment, it looks like he's dropped on his elbow, Brian, and it would be a tragedy if he can't go up and get his medal.
It looks as though he's got a serious problem there. Just a moment ago, an out-and-out hero for Arsenal, as the tradition here at Wembley for the League Cup final is that the losers go up first.
There'll be disappointment there amongst those players, but I suppose it'll be slightly less than normal because they know they're coming back here again in about 3.5 weeks' time, whatever. And I honestly believe that because Arsenal have won today, there's a very, very good chance, looking back through history and teams playing each other twice in competitions in close proximity, there's a very good chance they could be going up second in a few weeks' time. They've lost nothing in defeat. They haven't played as well as they can.
If they go up second, they'll have lost it. In the FA Cup, the winners go up first, but I know what you mean.
Got it wrong again, Brian. But they're given their all. Chris Waddle, I know, will be disappointed.
Tommy Finney will know their feelings. If my memory serves me, he played in the '54 Cup final for Preston, and they got beaten by West Bromwich Albion that day. So Tom Finney, our guest of honour today, will certainly know the feelings of Sheffield Wednesday. Well, I tell you what, there's a real problem for Morrow. They've now got ambulance men on the field. And I can see the Arsenal team doctor there as well.
It's incredible, Brian, isn't it, in football? You can play 90 minutes in a game where there was no quarter given and no quarter asked, and then just by something as stupid as that, and I mean, there's no, obviously, badness intended from the players. Something like that could cost him a place in the cup final in a couple of weeks' time. He may not be able to go out and pick his medal up, and I find that unbelievable. It would be a tragedy.
I think they will need to get on. I don't think he's going to go up and get his medal. I think that's one thing that's almost for sure. There are too many worried people around him, the medical men and so on. And at the moment, the whole ritual of winners going up to get medals and cup is put on hold. So Arsenal then go up to collect the winners' medals and the Coca-Cola Cup. An entry into Europe. Tony Adams has been through it all before. It's victory for Arsenal.
So Arsenal League Cup winners 1993. And as for Morrow, he was taken to hospital with a broken arm and unable to collect his winner's medal, which he eventually received before the FA Cup final later in the season. And that's it for now. We hope you enjoyed our dip into the archives. Join us again for more sport classics.